Hi, it's Joel. It's Thursday morning and here I am at a Coles Express service station because this is the first major chain that has dropped prices in the wake of the budget announcement of a 50% cut in fuel excise for 6 months. So on Tuesday night in the budget, just to recap, the Treasurer announced a 22 cents a litre reduction to fuel prices to last for 6 months while the war rages in the Ukraine. Petrol prices are skyrocketing. He did warn that it would take up to 2 weeks for the price cut to take effect. And that's because service stations, when they buy their fuel wholesale and fill up their tank under the ground, they pay the excise at that point and they pass it on to us as customers. Now, some of them still have full fuel tanks and they need to sell that off, the theory goes, before they can start selling fuel at the cheaper price. But on budget night, overnight on budget night, one of the major chains, Coles Express, aggressively discounted at 158 of its fuel stations. Their prices went down by 10 cents a litre or more, as much as 19 cents a litre in Wattle Grove in New South Wales. And so we're hoping now to see other major chains and also other competitors, independents and what have you, respond, even if they haven't sold off the entirety of the fuel in their tanks, which they bought at the higher price. We're really hoping to see a bit of an avalanche effect as we reach a critical mass over the next week or so. And so what we'll do is every single day, we will do a fuel price check in the mid-morning. We'll report by the middle of the day on the One Big Switch website to members to say which petrol stations have cut their prices overnight and which petrol stations have cut their prices since budget night, and also, of course, which ones haven't. Because we want to see, obviously, across the board, a 22 cents a litre fuel price cut by really the end of a week, maybe 10 days. The government's saying 2 weeks, but I think that's pretty generous, frankly. So every single day we will check and we'll let you know which stations have cut their prices overnight, which stations have cut their prices by the most. Of course, there's a fuel price cycle happening in the background. That's due to hit the bottom sometime next week, and so it looks like the next week is going to be a really good time to fill up. Wait until next week if you're in Sydney, Melbourne or Brisbane if you can, because that's going to be the bottom of the cycle, or this weekend. But any time from now until next week, you should get the benefit of a lower fuel price cycle, and if you shop around and choose your stations carefully, a 22 cents a litre fuel excise cut. You can use the apps, of course, to check which station in your area has dropped their prices and which one's the lowest. This one right here, I don't know if you can see, but the price on the board out there, 186.9 for unleaded. Just around the corner here, it's $2.10. There's multiple stations around the corner that are still $2.10. So this is the effect we're going to see over the next week. Some stations have been more aggressive in cutting prices straight away. Others are going to drag it out as long as they can. And that's why you need to know which ones are the cheap ones at the moment, because it could save you considerable money if you're filling up this week and next week. And it's important to reward the businesses that do the right thing and also call out the businesses that aren't doing the right thing. We're going to do that over the next couple of weeks as well. So every single day at the One Big Switch website, updates on which petrol stations have passed it on. Look at our newsletter each week on a Wednesday, of course. We'll give you an update in there as well. Social media, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, we'll be updating there as well. So make sure you're following us in all those different places and you'll know where the cheap petrol is over the course of the next week. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and put a little bit of petrol in the tank.